and somebody has somebody has two.
Somebody's running a YouTube somewhere.
Somebody has two.
Yeah, I guess I'm running.
Okay, can you mute the YouTube
You
because
got to mute the YouTube.
I'm not running anything. I just logged in using YouTube.
Oh, okay.
No, that's fine. I mean, but, okay.
Wait.
Let me figure it out.
Yeah, the thing is, there's some feedback because we can hear ourselves twice. There we go. I'm not sure how to stop it. I do know how to stop it temporarily. Just a minute.
So it's from Arijit, and Arijit, there is something playing at your system. That's why we can hear our voice again and again.
Right.
That's why I wanted to chime in, because I'd like hearing my voice again and again.
Well, Jim, you can hear it over and over again, you know. And apparently,
I just muted you, and then there is no voice now, so it's
whatever you did work, Arijit. We're going to move to the socialistic state of San Francisco, where Jim Mead. Jim, how's it going over there in terms of the coronavirus and the economy in that socialistic state, otherwise known as San Francisco?
Well, you know, first off, it's a capitalist country of Silicon Valley, surrounded by the Socialist Republic of Northern California. And what we're experiencing now, a governor had eased the restrictions, and we started to open up, and now we're seeing a spike. As many parts of the country have done, as soon as we started to open up, we've seen an increase in cases. And we're not overloaded in the hospital situations like we were in danger of being before, but it's alarming. We wanted to go back to business as usual, but it didn't turn out to be the right choice. And we keep trying to push the pedal to the metal and keep going on business, and we keep running into spikes whenever we do. So we're in this in-between state right now.
Yeah, okay, so we're in a massive state of confusion, which is normal for San Francisco. Arijit, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
Well, is it echoing again, or is fine?
Yeah, it's echoing again. It wasn't. Now it's back.
Arijit, is your Facebook live? Because I think it's from Facebook as well. Because
so I actually logged in using the YouTube.
It's not about logged in basically. If you have a Facebook tab open, you just have to mute that tab so that we can focus on streaming.
I guess because of my phone, because I logged in into two different devices. Is it fine now?
That's right. Yeah. Two different devices.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah. Cool. Well, hi everyone. Good to be here. Yeah. So about myself, I run India's one of the oldest game development and virtual reality studio. So I started this back in 1998 when I was 17, and I had a deep passion to connect the artist along with the logical world, which is coding. So I thought maybe connecting the programmers with the creative people, game development would be the best possible option to bring them forward and marry between both the kind of aspect in life. That's how I started my venture. So I failed a couple of times in my life. Like when I started back in 98, gaming was not a concept which is at least known to everyone in India. And entrepreneurship was not a word over there. It was all about how to do your business. And my background is my mom, she's a public prosecutor. Father, he's a corporate guy. No business background. So when you start with no business background, usually it takes a lot of time to learn. So it's a self-learning process that I had in my life. Failed in approx 2-3 times in life, and then certainly got the success, or rather I should say I'm still in the journey of getting success, trying to do good in life. That's the kind of small intro.
Wonderful.
If that fits.
Okay. Willie Hill has just joined us. Just to reintroduce people who have joined us late. We have Ankit, who's with IBM TV out of New Delhi, and he heads up our health channel and makes sure all the technology works. We have Rakesh, who's from Hong Kong, and Rakesh is education, and technology is still challenging for some of us. And of course, we have Alexander Starr. And Alexander Starr heads two things. One, the investment show, which is coming up today at 1 o'clock. And I do plan on watching it. It's a great show. And he has another good show, or great show, I'd say, Chess Stars with Alexander Starr. That is at this Saturday, 3 o'clock, where he's inviting the number 3 chess player in the world, or former number 3, Alex Shirov from Riga in Latvia will be joining us, along with Germanjenko, he knows how to pronounce the name, top German grandmaster. And of course, we have Willie Hill, and he's our startup master in Australia, mate. And I just saw one of your mates down there with a company called Kavana. It just hit the boards. They were funded with $60 million in Australia, and the mates are worth $6 billion. And they have this really, really attractive young lady who people were complaining about. What's the diversity? Why is she a trap? Blah, blah, blah. And apparently she's one of the owners of the company. So anyway, Australia just hit a $6 billion startup. And our special guest, Arijit, and he is a serial entrepreneur and does virtual reality. And we'd like to know a little bit more about Arijit. How did you get started in your startup?
Well, it's a long history, I would say. So I'll give you a different kind of reply. Let me take you back in '98, at least in Indian perspective. On that time, practically speaking, there was no concept of broadband connection. It was all dial-up connection, and we used to use the PCs, which has got 64 MB of RAM, with maximum, supercomputing stuff was not there. And I was a kid then. I used to do a lot of comics in my school days, a lot of superhero characters, which I used to make. And usually I have been thrown out of the history classes because I really hate the history classes. And on that particular timing, I used to draw the comical characters, creating my own kind of storyline with dialogue and, using pen stuff and all. And I was moving here and there, a kind of scattered guy who wanted to make a disruption. Never ever thought that theory will make a mark in, at least in life. I was always a kind of practical oriented person who thought that maybe I can marry between the logic and art together. So I saw a couple of guys who are moving from one location to another location, and they are pretty happy. They are saying that we are not making money, we are artists. So artists are not supposed to make money. Artists are supposed to be like this. They should have all those kind of colors with their hand or brushes and all. But I had a different perspective. I thought, why artists can't make money? What was the main cause for it? So I was digging here and there, and I was checking using those kind of old browsers, using Yahoo search engine. Got to know that my background is basically, I'm a science background person. So I used to do coding on that time as well. So it's a kind of complex personality I have, artist and logical both. So I found that in Yahoo, somebody is talking about a language called Python. And in that particular blog, that fellow was mentioning that Python is a great language. If you can learn it, that's amazing stuff. So I learned it slowly and then understood that if I have to do something for this artist community, I need to make money. And if I can recruit them, take them into our organization, if I can float a company, that can add a lot of value. So initially I started as a production house. I failed because I didn't have any kind of team. Then I started a training institute. I found there is a gap. People don't know how to make games. So whatever I learned, I tried to give it back to these students. It was a free class initially. So I started getting students, like from one student, it became 10, 10 became slowly 15. And then I started charging money for giving training. And with those 15 people, I took 2 of them as our faculty. I started paying them and slowly understood that they can actually become our asset. So slowly, very steadily, we started another institution. took few people on board who are artists, really from very poor background, very humble background. They totally are like kind of that kind of artistic background where they say we don't have money but we are happy. We took them, all those happy people, on board, and then slowly thinking that if production can become a IP oriented production, so we started making own game title based gaming studio. We never ever wanted to become a studio like an outsourcing studio, which will be on the forefront of making only game asset or game art. We wanted to make a mark in a different way. So that was a totally a failure concept. I'll tell you the reason. The year was approx 2004, 2005. So gaming was not at all popular in India,
Right.
at least in front. Okay, so so I took a very big leap. Whatever I had in my pocket, I got a visa from a Western country, certainly in UK. So I was writing a lot of mail to a lot of publishers. We had an initial discussion. So I took that flight, went there, had a discussion, and understood that how to go about white level, how we can make a game title, they can become our publisher, how publishing works. I came back with a lot of hope. With those kind of team structure, we made the game, we published it, got a little bit of success, or rather I should say money. With that money we created another separate division which will make only intellectual property based superhero characters. So what I did, I actually took on board fresh actor and actress as a character inside our game. We started converting them into a 3D character in a very different kind of nowadays it's called digital human. So it was not a concept that days, but we made those people as gaming characters
Mhm.
and started floating small games with that. And what happened, people started loving those games. We started getting a lot of traction, user base from various media. And slowly, certainly the revolution happened. We got YouTube, we got Google as a search engine, we hopped into the social media, we got Facebook. So we grabbed each and every possibility that came in front of us. And slowly, those people, the fresh actor and actress, they started getting a lot of communication and connection from the movie industry, and they got a shock. They told us what happened. I mean, what exactly you guys did? We became overnight popular. What happened exactly? So even it was a different kind of understanding for us. We found that okay, fine, there is another kind of business opportunity if I can marry between the film industry with gaming industry. So we hopped into the Bollywood movie
Mhm.
making concept as well as Tollywood movies, and we started co-producing the movies as a gaming partner. So that gave us different kind of feedback,
Mhm.
and slowly entered into the technical market like blockchain technologies, the crypto market. We started handshaking with those kind of people and started integrating that and evolved the company into different level. And we started investing into new kind of concept, new kind of startups, wherein as a very strategic investment company, we should help them to grow and create a market. We floated another platform for these indie startups and started collaborating with a lot of various players in the market, and successfully created the ecosystem wherein people can raise fund and floated another organization which is mainly into investment banking. It's called Entrepreneur Space, and we strategically started investing into various different kind of domain. Initially, it was technology, but then slowly it became a mainstream streamlined business. And as I said that I don't have any kind of business background, so I learned everything from scratch,
Right.
zero, with experience,
Yep.
and started investing out of India, and understood that world is really beautiful and people are
Mhm.
really great, and they have a lot of different open mind. If we can handshake with different people,
Mhm.
it's really amazing. So initially we started in Asia.
Right.
Initially we started in Asia, and slowly Asian people, frankly speaking, taught me at least how to become humble and how to become very grounded, and that helped us to grow into very different market. In fact, I can see one of our friend is from Australia. So recently, approximately 1.5 years back, 1.5 years back, we started one company based out of Australia called Avalue Global Investment Banking Company. So we got our partnership with two different guys over there in Australia. So slowly entered into the startup ecosystem. Uh, I usually take very slow step, understand people. If the synergy match, then only we take things forward. I always go for team. I always go for the good heart. I always go for the gut feelings. So till date, by God grace, somehow failure never happened in investment scenario till date. Yes, by God grace. And
No failures here, buddy. We're all successful. Below there's two chess masters, Jimmy, Alexander Starr, myself. You're loaded with gamers here, but we were playing chess back. Now video games were a whole different start. Like I said, around 2004. Can you share the screen and show us your website or what video games you guys
sure,
actually do?
I can.
Yeah, you have to actually. It is a little technology challenge, but you press the share screen. You press the share screen. You got to go to the video, then you got to press the video, and then it'll actually share. Or Ankit can do it. Ankit knows how to do everything. That guy.
Hold on.
While he's doing that, Nick,
I
have, I think, one option which is entire screen.
Don't. Arijit, is your website live right now? Yeah, I can see your screen now.
Oh, you can see a screen. Oh, there we
Yeah.
go. Wait. Okay, here it is. Here it is.
Yeah, I can see your screen now.
You can see my screen.
Yeah, let's see what you actually do.
Arijit, there is one more thing. I think. Can you lower the volume of the mobile phone because there is some sound coming from your screen here?
I think I need to stop sharing. Or
And can you just lower the mobile volume so that because I can hear a lot of.
hold on. I just stopped sharing.
Still, there is a voice coming up from your end.
I don't know from where the voice is coming because my phone is totally out of network. I don't have any other network going on.
Because when I mute you, there is some kind of volume. Now it's Billy. Can you hear something? Billy, you need to unmute.
Yeah, it's okay now. There's no echo.
Now it's okay. But once I unmute, you can listen.
It's like the
Hold on, let me
coming
see
back.
what best I can do.
Like a coronavirus in your system. I don't know. Because the problem is that while doing it, it's difficult to record it actually.
I understand, but honestly speaking, I don't see any other window running. Like I can see multiple windows are opening in my tab box.
Okay. Okay, let's see.
My URL in the. Shall I give you my URL in the chat box?
Yeah. You can get the URL in the chat box to be able to show the videos and what you guys do.
Yeah, I think that's the best option.
Yeah.
That's probably the best option because it is how to upload.
And also share how big is the gaming industry and especially how big is the industry in India as compared to the world, because people are not sure that gaming is also an industry and there are people working and making millions and billions of dollars.
Yeah, tell us how big this game industry is.
So gaming in India is actually a very big market. The only challenge is here. Usually we are not inclined about the proper, I should say, proper serious gaming. So India is one of the finest market for casual gaming genre. If you are into it. So for an example, if you're going for real money games, or rather, I should say, casual genres like carom, ludo, or hyper casual, those are the kind of game that works very well. So I shared one of our URL from the total website. So maybe you can see a couple of 3D characters which has been converted from a real person to a real 3D character. So one of
Do we
our finest title is Shaktiman. Shaktiman was India's first superhero character, which was a TV show long back, started by Mr. Mukesh Khanna. If you can see the Shaktiman character, now he is over 70. But when we converted him, yeah, this one. So maybe you can try this website. Let me share you. For each and every game, we have separate website.
Okay, okay. It's not working. There is no link to it.
No. It's only showing the character.
Yes, showing the characters.
So I just wanted to reiterate, Arijit. I mean, I know our first superhero is Shaktiman, but as Indians, we all know that we have a lot of gods with great powers, and we believe they are superheroes as well. Because a lot
exactly.
of
So we converted we created more than 200 plus superhero characters from all those Indian mythology. So each and every character do have its own storyline, but for religious reason, we never ever take the actual god and goddess as a character, because that creates a lot of controversy. We never do that. So each and every character do have its storyline, but every one of them has been taken from a particular real life actor and actress. Some of them are celebrities, some of them are really small character. If you can open the Shaktiman game, or maybe I should share you another URL.
So that's your website, Virtual Infocom, where you build games. So Arijit, if you talk about viewership or follower, I'm not sure how the gaming industry works. So how many people follow the game on your platform?
So for our platform, we have got 25 million user base, which is like we built it for quite a long time, which includes a lot of game titles. So if you click on the visit site in the so maybe you can see some other site which is running, right? So each and every game do have its own storyline.
Wonderful.
So it's a game which is based on Katya. So this lady is her name is Srijla. She is now a brand model, and the character that you can see, the male character, he is basically a male character is based on Ashwathama. So I've shared you another two URL. If you can just type fightofthelegends.com, you can check each and every character on the screen. So that's one of our game title. Yes.
This one.
Yep, this one. You can click on maybe the characters tab on the menu. Yeah.
Okay. So, Arijit, if I talk about games, it was really a challenge for us. I didn't get you.
Yeah, I'm saying it was really challenge for us when we started making all these characters. Like if you want to click on any character, this is the lady who has been converted as a gaming character. So you can go back and cross check anyone, or maybe scroll down. Yeah, click on that white hair Coco character. This one.
Okay.
That's she is now MTV star, but when we hired her as a game character, she was nothing.
Okay. Wonderful.
So I have several cases like this. If you click on Jitantak, the yellow guy. Yep. So he became one of the finest male model. Like this kind of concept is pretty new. At least it was new when we started in 2008, converting all these people into digital characters. There was no studio. The challenge was there was no studio. There was no technical know-how which was available, at least in India, where you can do those kind of motion capture. So everyone has been motion captured, and as you can see, everyone got, this is only a 3D one. It has no connection with any real person. So everyone got his own characteristics and own power and own storyline. So that's a guy from one of our god.
Yeah.
So what we did, we actually converted these people not only as a character. There is a fine catch when you play the game, you have an option to go to a real store, and if you like any one of the amulet or maybe the dress or maybe some amount of object inside the game, you can redeem your point into physical store and you can buy the real object. Let me share you another interesting fact.
My grandkids do this all the time. They tell their dad, "Hey, I've got to buy this extra power." I'm serious, and even there's a place called the Great Wolf Lodge that they took us to. They had to keep buying all this extra power so they could kill the dragon. So, Grandpa being dumb goes, "Okay, let's go buy the extra power." So, is that what you do, Angie?
Yeah, kind of, yes. Kind of, yes.
All right.
Kind of, yes.
What sort of revenue can you make off a business like this? What are you doing in revenue?
We are doing good. We are doing a couple of millions, certainly.
Okay.
So in 2017, let me share you another interesting fact. So this is our India's first e-commerce portal on Cosplay Objects. Whatever games you saw, you can actually buy. So we did a couple of cosplay shows as well in India with our superheroes with own kind of styling. So you can actually go and buy the objects inside the game. If you can scroll down, you can see the objects.
Sure.
This we have a partnership with some Taiwanese company who actually build these hard plastic materials for us, and we cross sell or sell, and it's a kind of ecosystem that we created, and the way we did it with all these high fashion dress is pretty interesting. We actually go to nearby village, recruit a group of people who people say that they can't do anything in their life, so we take them on board, teach them how to do knitting, how to do handicrafts, and they converted themselves into a creative village. So it's not a smart village concept, but a creative village concept.
Creative village, right.
We adopt these village people. Whatever money we generate, we give 80% back to these people so that they can sustain and grow.
Sure.
And you won't believe that nowadays their people are going to the school. So this is the concept that we are coming with special food section only for gamers. Usually that happens that as a gamer, you play a lot of game, but you don't take care of your health and you go for a lot of different kind of
that's true.
food. Yeah.
Did you hear that, Jim? You play a lot of games, you don't take care of your health. Alexander Starr, did you hear that? Got to take care of your health. Alexander's he's from Russia. He'll just grab some vodka on the way out the door. So, but the thing is, Alexander also runs our investment show that's coming up Wednesday at 1:00. And see, for me, something like this is actually a good investment, Alexander, because it's a one-time, I call it a one-time charge cost to actually set up the game. And then from there on in, the revenues keep coming in over and over again until the revenues are depleted because they're bored with the game and they want to go to another game. But by that time, you've developed another game that they go to, and it keeps going over and over again, right, Angie? And
yes,
developed in India. Okay, he just did it in India. The fact is, it can be exported to Australia, and they'll do the same thing. They'll buy. It's like a Coca-Cola, right? So he does it to Australia. Same concept. Oh, let's go find the stars. Let's make them into a video game. They go, okay, I get a royalty, right? And then over and over again, people pay to play. Then he goes to the United States of America, does the same thing. Goes to Europe, does the same thing. In other words, it replicates itself. I mean, am I missing something?
Scandinavian gods too.
Perfect.
You can piggyback this idea onto Scandinavian and Thor and Odin and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm just so proud of you.
This is really great. Yeah, I'm all for this one, Arijit. I mean, Ankit, this guy's good. Okay, because Ankit had some other person on. I said, dude, your thing ain't going to go anywhere. Too capital intensive and not enough revenue stream. In other words, with solar power, I mean, that's a real capital intensive deal and very competitive. And there's not a one-time charge, but your idea is going to go off like a rocket, and you've probably already seen it if you've been doing it since 2004.
But Nick, there is one more side to gaming industry that Arijit is successful on the other side, but there are a lot of people who do games. They develop a lot of games, and it's difficult for them to create a successful game, because I think Arijit would agree that every 10 games, I think one game would get success. What do you think, Arijit? What is the success rate about gaming?
Good question.
Yeah, kind of that. You're right. You're bang on. Actually, getting one successful title is like a lot of hard work, honestly
Yeah.
speaking. So out of 10, maybe you don't get any successful game, or it might happen that you are really lucky and somehow one of your game out of that 10 becomes popular in a particular country.
Sure.
But I usually prefer go for localization. So
Mhm.
to get a success for any game, that's basically localization of
Yeah.
characters or
Yeah.
objects or UI. And you
Certainly.
are right. When you go for one particular game title, it is for maybe Asia, you can always go for Europe and convert the same thing with different kind of characterization. So
Certainly.
if I have time, I'll be more than happy to show you another.
Hey,
Uh,
Jim and Alexander, maybe he could take the chess players, the chess grandmasters like Magnus Carlsen, and he could take Haruka Nakaruma, and you can go and you can buy more rating points, and then Haruka can finally beat Magnus Carlsen, right? That's
Great. No, I think you're right on. Actually, I'm working on a game now, so this is fascinating to me because we're going to do it all animated, and we can have the Fisher Spassky match animated, and Bobby Fischer throwing the boards up in the air and that sort of thing. So this is an idea that has already occurred to me, but I have none of the expertise that you have, and so I am probably going to be with the 9 out of 10 that fail. But I'm just blown away by your success and the idea, and also feeding back into your local communities.
Yeah.
That is just spot on as far as I'm concerned.
Well, they have a great chess player in India, Vishy Anand.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? And the thing is, they could have Vishy Anand play Bobby Fischer. That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
But they'd have to play it.
I think there is something what Arijit can do is that Arijit can create a game and Sasha can play like Shroff. So a character called Shroff and Sasha is playing the game with the mind of Shroff. That can be possible in a gaming industry. What do you think, Arijit?
Yeah.
Can he replace a GM and play like a GM?
We could finally have Staunton play Morphe. Staunton does Morphe. But now we can have him play. But the other thing I wanted to
so
say,
I would love to share you some other. I would love to share you some other aspect, Mr. Jim. If you are entering into the gaming world, like gaming is basically, I'm talking about gaming technology. Nowadays, gaming technologies are being used into various vertical, like with real industry. So we are working very closely with simulation industry, car manufacturing industries, as well as a couple of ship manufacturing industries. So we are using virtual reality and augmented reality and XR to give exact kind of solution, even with the aviation industry. So that's going to be the future. And it's, in my understanding, augmented reality and XR is going to play a amazing role. And with this note, I mean, we didn't stop over there, honestly speaking. So we started, I should say, I started making a very small initiative about investment capital. So we floated the portal successfully, and we started a knowledge portal as well. And I've already shared you the blog link for the same. We recruited people who are well experienced from the industry, and they are writing over there and communicating with each other. So if you go to the main site, if you click on the website, you will get multiple mentors who are actually mentoring people worldwide, working very closely. And we work very closely with, you can click on the tab called mentor if you, yeah.
Mhm.
So we work very closely with multiple partners, like TechSauce is one of our partner. We work very closely with TechStars and National Entrepreneurs Network.
Oh, TechStars. They're actually out of
few of
Boulder,
the,
Colorado, right? TechStars. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I know the guy who's the head of it. Was it Brad Feld or something like that? TechStars. I got his card here somewhere.
Yeah, probably yes.
I got to
we-
go
we
through his
work
card. He's
only
in
with the
one of my
Indian
business
chapter.
cards. Let's go find him.
Great. So we have multiple number of mentors on board from various part of the industry with their own kind of skill set. We have got Elena Levova from Ukraine. We got Abioda from Africa. Then Eric from China. Shubhranshu is heading the IIM Calcutta Innovation Park as a CEO. Jatin is a really great guy from Rajkot. He runs a co-working place. Then Vanessa, she's from Africa, southern part of Africa. Priyam is running another initiative for people. I can go on. Like these guys are really amazing guys. Like Shazi was from Bangladesh. Then Maxim, he's from Russia. Udita, he's from Sri Lanka. Like we have got multiple people on board who are actually helping guys to shape their dream in reality. Few people are from corporate industry. Few of the guys are from uh, law, legal background. So trying to help the ecosystem. And honestly, when you try to help someone, you give a multiple things back into you.
Mhm.
So you can click on the partners tab. You can see the number of partners we have. So we have an incubation segment for women entrepreneurs. We are pretty open for 50% investment directly without asking any kind of anything. Like it's a kind of 50% grant that we go for. So these are our partners worldwide. We work closely with them. Not very big names, but yes, we are working with them, trying to help the ecosystem in whatever way we can.
Wonderful. And I think, Arijit, as you work in the startup industry, names never matter because it's all about the consistency, resilience, passion, and because you know that name can become bigger at any point of time. It's more about the content and the value you create in that particular ecosystem. That's more important.
I just want to say that I'm writing everything down because Kimberly's not here, so somebody has to write everything down. And I just want to. I can't tell you how amazed I am about what you've accomplished. And because I've just been sticking my toe in this, and I've got developers, and I've got a marketing person, but you've done it all. So I can learn so much from you, and I'm going to go to check out your sites. But I did have two things to say. One is, artists did make money, but they just had to die first.
That's true. Yeah. Then you make money. Now your art is pouring
in. And the other thing is, I think you got to work on Chessman. Chessman. Superhero.
You're loaded with chess players here.
And then you can get Sasha and me on board right away.
Right. Yeah, and for people that are not familiar with Techstars right here. Okay, and the thing is, they have a big following. Brad Feld is one of the founders. His company's called the Foundry Group. He's out of Boulder, Colorado. And for those who are not familiar with the investment world, Jim Eade lives in the socialist state of Silicon Valley, which has 40% of all investment in startups are done in his city. So Jim sits right next to tons of money, but it never seems to bleed over to him.
I can't drive anywhere without passing venture capitalists.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he can't. Where he lives, it's venture capital city. But I think
there is one more fact. There is one more fact that startup companies who got funded and they are doing good, they have more Indians as an employee than any other company.
Yeah,
that's also a fact.
Yeah, but his company's already up and running, making money, has a great business plan for expansion. I mean, it's really has all the tools to take off like a rocket. It looks like it's already taken like a rocket, Arijit. So I think it's. I
have to remind you that you have to ask 2 questions from Arijit. If you remember those
questions. Well, I don't want to ask him these questions because he probably knows the answer. But
you can try it out. I mean.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. These are the 2 questions we asked. Do you know who Shadow Khan is? Arijit, do you know who Shadow Khan is?
So sorry. Yeah, I know.
I told you. That's not fun. Okay. Question number 2. Do you know how to play cricket?
Oh yeah.
See, that's not fair. Okay. See, here's what you find out, Andy. I told
Okay. Let me reveal the fact. Who is from Australia? Willie?
Yeah, Willie.
Okay. So I had an interaction with Mr. Steve Waugh. So when he came to India, and he is releasing his one of the book, which is with lot of passion. He's writing it, from his wide, vast experience. We had a deep chat, and most probably we'll be releasing it in India, and a few of the parts will be done for Asia as well. So that answers your, cricket stuff. So yes, I play cricket, and yes, I'm highly passionate.
Ankit is teaching me. So.
People in the United
But
States.
before you make that statement, we need to make sure that they know who is P4, because they don't know anything about cricket.
We don't know how to play cricket here, and we do not know who Shadow Khan is.
And Nick, there is one more fact. Arijit is from Calcutta, and the Calcutta Stadium, Eden Garden, is one of the biggest stadium in the world cricket stadium, and they have around 100,000 people watching cricket or football at a single point of time.
Well, not anymore, though. Not now.
No, they can't. It does not exist. Cricket does not exist in the United States. Okay. As a matter of fact,
in the San Francisco Bay Area, their cricket league.
Yeah.
But they're all Indians. They're all Indian players, but still.
Yeah, we don't.
I think we lost him. There is some. Maybe he'll join back.
Oh, he disappeared. Where'd he go?
Well,
yeah, this
he
is
will join.
Yeah, he'll have to beam back in here. But yeah, that is a really good. See, the way I look at that's a really good startup. But it looks like he's more than a startup. If he started this in 2004, I mean, he's been around for 16 years, which means you're past the 5 years you're going to die.
Right.
He's going to die. He's going to go. This is the company that even guys like Alexander would look at investing.
You know, he's made it.
And get back 45. If I can put in 1,000 of my, my money and get back 45,000, I would invest. So.
There's Arijit.
Yeah, Arijit. Yeah, no, it looks like you've got a great plan. So what is your plans for the future, Angie? What's the expansion going forward?
Well, Virtual Infocom right now is in the good hand, and I hired one of, it's from the team itself. So I set back as a CEO now. So it's in the good hands, and I got my own CEO who can actually take the load. For the company, certainly we'll be more focusing on creating more and more technology-oriented products which can connect with the hardwares. Mm-hmm. We are basically coming up with different kind of virtual reality hardware solution integrated with content, which will be game as well as short movies, but in 3D, certainly in VR, and certainly that will be one of the expansion plan for us. We want to build that product. I can show you. Give me a second. I'll bring that hardware for you. We want to sell it in the market for around $150 max as a selling price, which will be way different than any kind of VR device that you can think of at the moment. So this VR device will be a standalone device, integrated chip inside it. We already built it. The prototype is ready, but it's not there in the market, which will have processor inside, RAM inside, storage inside, cloud connectivity with all the possible kind of solution. Give me a second. Let me bring it up for you guys.
Yeah, because
is it fine?
VR,
Sure.
is really a hot moving market. Yeah, if you can show it.
Yeah. Give me a second.
Sure.
So that's wonderful, and I think gaming is something which is going big. I was at one of the Google events last year, and they have a game where there is no console. They play game on the server itself, and the game is played with the best of the SD displays and graphics, and there is no console. So you are playing on a bandwidth on an internet, and I was surprised to see it was going great.
Yeah, the gaming industry is actually pretty large.
This doesn't have any kind of logo yet because it's a prototype. Okay. So here you can see the controls. So these are the controls to turn on, and this is basically with the controls to move the character or maybe anything. And this is how you can do the restart stuff.
Okay.
This is how you can put it in your head.
On your head, yeah.
All right. And we are in talk with.
We might need to take a live demo because it's difficult or it's tempting to watch you live right now.
We'll do that. We'll do that for sure. So we are in talk with one company who can give us gesture control rings. It's already there in the market, so that we can connect the gesture controlling with this hardware, and we'll come up with a bundle pack, 2 different bundle pack, one without the ring, one with the ring. So different kind of pricing module will be there most probably. So that's our future plan. If we can do it with that pricing.
Wonderful. And Arijit, to tell you that on IBM TV, we are coming up with a show, Gamers Den. We are still working on the format and how the show will run. But we will be soon working on a Gamers Den show, which is live on IBM TV, and we have gamers joining us around the world talking about games and other things. You know, the gaming industry is going big, and they also need social media, and they need a lot of PR and a lot of things to make sure that the game will survive forever. But a quick question from our viewers: that what is the shelf life of a game? How much? I need to unmute because we are facing a lot of technical difficulties, and whenever I mute you, there's a lot of sound problem, and our viewers are asking why there's the problem coming from StreamYard and from broadcast today, because something is happening from somewhere, and that's not, good quality video or audio which we are offering right now. But let me see. Yeah.
I'm really sorry for that. I don't have any clue why it's happening. But yes, if you're asking about life of a game, it depends. But usually it is 2 years to 3 years if you're making it decent. And it can go up to 10 years if your marketing strategy is perfect. And then you need to come up with a different version or maybe a different kind of concept so that it uplifts. So this is basically a kind of subject which is ever changing always. It always changes. It always updates. So that needs a lot of update kind of structure inside your game, so that you can jolly well replicate it or maybe upgrade it. Can I share you one very simple storyline?
Yes.
Sure, please.
Okay. So when we made Ashwatthama as a game, it was India's first RPG real 3D character based game, which we made in 2008. We released it in 2008 actually. And there was the engine that we had on that time was different. It was not that updated. But yes, when we released that, it was a storyline based game from Indian mythological character from Mahabharata. And then slowly we connected that character-based game into a different storyline-based game called Katya, which you saw. And then we interconnected Fight of the Legends with Ashwatthama. So what happens as a strategy, as a game strategy, when you have the new game released in the market, which is Fight of the Legends, and it is connected with your Ashwatthama storyline, as a gamer, when you go back and try to understand what was the starting phase of that game, so you go back to Ashwatthama. So in a way, whether it is 2020, so since 2008 to 2020, Ashwatthama continues his journey as long as Fight of the Legends will continue. And then you connect Fight of the Legends with Shaktiman game and it continues. So you need to think on those kind of marketing strategy where your old games should connect with the new games. It can be a storyline, it can be no storyline, it can be a hyper casual, doesn't matter. But it should continue and fetch the older games with the newer one. That's how you can retain your consumer, you can retain your users, and you can continue. And another best solution, or rather I should say a suggestion, is never ever put your game only on so-called popular Play stores. With due respect to all the popular Play stores, like we know only Google, Apple, or maybe Microsoft, or maybe Amazon, there are more than 300 plus local Play stores. So when you release a game, it's important to get a publisher on board with you who can practically push your product into all those local stores. There you make money.
Right.
And you sustain and you grow.
Yeah, and the game
2 tips from your end. First step is to keep engaging the audience. You need to kind of create games which have some kind of connection, so that people will go from each one or volume 1 to volume 2. And then secondly, try to publish yourself and don't look for publishers who are popular, because they can eat you at any point of time. But my question is that when you get to know that your game is not successful or it's failed, how much time maybe it's a week time or a month time, or you wait for 3 months and then you see that thing is not functioning well, and I have to take it back.
Well, I should give example of Final Fantasy for this. So when Final Fantasy was there, it never made money, but the founder never stopped himself. It was a Japan-based, the company is called Square Enix, who produced and published that game. So it was never a hit thing initially, but slowly after a couple of months, around 6-7 months, it got hit like anything, right? So my suggestion is, don't think that you are doing bad. Keep your nose on the grid, continue the journey. Gaming, you can't say that from where you get the success if you are an indie developer. But if you have a proper marketing strategy, you will understand within 6 months whether you are going to get the hit or not. So that strategy depends on a lot of peer activities, lot of community work, lot of you can say news portals, user understanding. So there is another tip. If you are making an indie game, always go for localization. Always understand the localization part of it. That helps a lot for your game success. And I think the next word would be mostly on hyper casual, easy to make. You don't have to invest a lot of money, but you can get good number of users. But I have a serious question about your money making process. Don't rely on only ad networks. Work on an alternative way of in-app purchase as well as real-life connectivity with the games and all. So it's not about games. The reason we connected blockchain technology to to pioneer into the world of alternative way of making money as well as giving security, because in gaming there is a lot of different kind of concept. For an example, if you take example of a game of ours, Lal Kamal Nil Kamal was never targeted for kids. The game storyline is for kids, but this storyline is from 1970s. It was a really old storyline. So our target consumers are parents who would be keen to ask their kids, go back, read this storyline through a gaming experience, because this is your culture. So that game is basically for over 40 people. So people love to go for their own culture, their own language, and they are pushing their kids. Imagine a situation, some Indian guy is sitting in US and he has got a kid and he wants that his kid to understand his own culture. How he can give it? He has got his own community. They are not coming back in India very often. So if they get some kind of interactive mode of gaming where it is teaching the Indian culture and old storyline, it's great for them. So they usually ask them to play that kind of game, which is giving them cultural experience. So it depends. How you're thinking about your marketing.
Yeah, and just for the people who are joining us at the hour, we have Ankit Kandlar with at IBM TV in New Delhi. Willie Hill has joined us from Australia, Melbourne. Good day, mate, who runs up the Startup Australia website and has 10,000 people there, plus the European startup site. So Willie is actually head out of it, Melbourne, Australia. We have Rakesh, who is in Hong Kong, and who just recently joined us is Sharif from Malaysia. And Sharif is a PhD in business. And of course, Arijit didn't get his PhD in business, but he did get his business though. He runs a gaming company out of Calcutta, India, and is now working around the world on virtual reality. Virtual reality, and has been doing a lot of work in that area, taking people who are stars and turning them into games. Sharif, do you have any questions, since you're in the academic side of business? Now you get to meet the real side of business. Do you have any questions to ask Arijit?
Yes, no. But basically, if you ask me about the academic side, when I started my PhD, my first like example, my first objective is that I want to make it industry oriented. I want to make it more meaningful. I think Mr. Ankit also showed my last interview with Dr. Mahfuzur Rahman from University of Malaya. So basically, my objective, you have to understand, from my undergraduate, I started my business and I start like doing my job. A lot of hard work I doing, and I finished my study. So in the same way, in my PhD program, I try to make it more meaningful, like industry driven. And what he said that only 19% of the research paper from academia is implemented in the industry. 81% still not implemented in the industry. That's why I love IBM TV, because IBM TV, they have their own culture. They are integrated with the business. Even Mr. Nick, even he has an academic background, but he integrated with lot of industry. This is actually very interesting. So how, like, my specific objective, like how we can make more efficient ecosystem with the collaboration of industry and with the collaboration of academia, because without research even you cannot do better things. Let's say you are talking about stock market. So when you need a chairman who will run a stock market, you need a PhD holder for macro aspect. On the other hand, you need lot of research for creating IPO and other things, as well as the industry has to. I know that industry is very much action oriented. So in these action oriented things and these academic research things, they are more on theoretical aspect. I want to integrate it together. That is my objective of life. And another things in my life, my personal life, because I have a chance, it's my great pleasure from European Union and other top university, I get chance to involve with their academic system. And that is the things I also find in that their system, that there is a huge gap. What actually IBM TV do, I like it. Like you try to get your guests from India, from Malaysia, from here, from Hong Kong, from Australia. So there is a gap in the academia. There is a huge gap, really, really huge gap.
Right.
Like I told you, always we are talking about New York stock market, General Motor, General Electronics, Kentucky Fried Chicken. But we have to understand the real history of India, real history of China market, India market. Let's say Mr. Arijit get economics. Nobel last year on economics. So he is actually have great contribution on development economy. He do a lot of work in India. So these kind of things we have to understand. I want to learn how General Motor wants, how your startup run, and how you give the solution, how virtual reality work, AI works. I want to learn these things. Side by side, I want to present, even if they are traditional businessmen. Let's say in Bangladesh, they have Akis Group. They make billions of dollars without a billion-dollar business. I want to represent microfinance. They already win Nobel Prize, but they are billion-dollar business. I want to represent Islamic finance. I want to represent how like Petronas work or how Sunway Group work. This is actually my objective of life, because otherwise knowledge is not fulfilled. And how I see IBM TV, this is actually meaningful, but do not avoid research. Sometimes it will be helpful, sometimes it will create bring a very beautiful thing. When you IBM TV, let's say 1 billion real like people will show and they will observe. You need research. Mr. Ankit only cannot do this thing. That time you need a big research team. Okay.
He can do everything. I heard he does everything. But the gaming industry that he's in, Sharif, is bigger than the music industry and the film industry combined. $152 billion is being dumped in 2015 into the gaming industry. So you could add up all the movies, and we do movies on Tuesday. We had a Hollywood movie producer on yesterday. You could add up all the movies. You could add up all the music together. But this phenomenon called gaming, which Arijit kind of stumbled into, is bigger than both of them combined financially. It says it right here on YouTube. I mean, right here on YouTube. This is where all the knowledge is contained, is on Google. So I just go to Google and I find all the knowledge that's there. So his ability to, and it's a fast growing industry. It's a cult like following, like the chess players who are sitting backstage right now. The gamers are a cult following. Let's face it. In other words, they're into it. They usually have a technology background. They usually have decent jobs. Okay, so they can afford to spend money on games. So they remind me of the chess players. Right after they're done playing chess, guess what they do? They go play more chess. It's sick. Okay, well, gamers, right after they're done coding, what are they going to do? They're going to do more things on the computer. They're going to play video games, and they're going to spend money on it. And so right now it eclipses the film industry and the music industry. But what you're doing is quite interesting. You're actually taking stars from the film industry and moving them over into the gaming industry. Do you pay them royalties? I guess that's my question. In other words, do they get paid a royalty for this? Oh, you muted him, man, Kit. Let's not mute him.
Well, nice gameplay about muting and unmuting. Super.
Yeah, okay.
Well, honestly speaking, yes, it's both way. The question is really, really important for all the audience. Do we pay royalty to the celebrities or not? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I'll give you the explanation. Well, for you, sir, I believe you're from Bangladesh and you're based out of Malaysia.
Yes.
For you, sir, I was chosen as we have to crack a engineering degree, and I actually left engineering. I joined economics honors, and I did ecostat math as a combination because I wanted to do business. Then while doing business, I did my MCA, but I never opted for PhD because that was taking too much of time, and I have to concentrate more on making money so that I can grow things. But kudos to you about the PhD. Well, regarding the right kind of answer, when you have a celebrity local celebrity, I mean to say, for an example, a celebrity in India, they want to access into the Asian market or maybe the European market. When we publish them, when we promote them, they get millions of followers because they are becoming a game character. There we charge them. We don't pay them. When the celebrity is really huge, like maybe a celebrity from Hollywood, I can't share that in a live show because of NDA. But when you work with them, we certainly go for a royalty basis payment, initial payment, and as well as whatever money we are generating, we are sharing with them. It's a both way kind of understanding, and we are really blessed that people do understand our effort and they believe in us, and we are continuing the journey for last 22 years. Does that answer your question?
Yes, I was going to tell Sharif, the thing is, Arijit had a professor. Oh, wait, here's his professor. Okay. Oh, there. Anke has a better professor than I do. You know, okay, and so he got his PhD on this. PhD. You know, it's the difference between studying it and doing it. You know, so but here at IBM TV, we respect both the educators and the ones that are actually doing it. So it's all good. You know, so. Oh, we had a new person who's joined us, Shariti. Wow, I can't say her last name. Ankit, do you know how to do this? You have.